Welcome. It's we're talking business on the drive home. We've got Phil East from Profit Improvers. Hi, Phil. How you going?
Great, thanks, Glenis. Yourself?
Excellent. We have Glenis Gassmann, who's fabulous and getting better as the day progresses. I'm here, and we've got Chris Dobbin, who's driving home. It's the 25th of September, and we're ploughing through the month of September. So thank you very much for coming on board and being part of us in our drive home. We have a lot of fun, don't we, Phil?
Most certainly. And from my point of view, and I'm sure everyone who listens, we learn a lot as well. And we've had a great amount of experts in different fields. We've covered a lot of different topics over the past episodes.
Yeah, we have.
Today,
we've still got more to go.
Sorry?
We've still got lots more to go.
That's right, but I'm just saying today will be no different. It'll be another one of those, Glenis, because today...
Guess what? We're showcasing myself. How weird is that?
That's it. And very important topic it is too, Glenis. So something that everyone needs to get their head around, and it's always good to learn from those who've done it before and have a look at what they do. So today you're going to help us with the 4 daily habits that every successful business owner does.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? You know, and what I want to say is that, you know, this is something that I've created myself from, you know, all of my years in business. So it's over 28 years in business. And, you know, I started off very naive in this space. And then as the years have gone on, I have really developed quite an acute discipline to a lot of this. And, you know, as I go through these 4, you know, disciplines or success habits that we have, you know, like you might pick up one little thing, one little nugget of gold that you can go, you know what, I'm going to start implementing that tomorrow. Or, you know, it's all about improvement. And I'm not by no means, you know, the best at everything. Okay. I'm the first one to put up my hand to go, what can I learn more? You know, how can I improve more? But, you know, these are the things that have worked for me. And so, yeah, I'm going to share with you all of them tonight, you know, because it's all about, for me, it's like we can have all this knowledge, we can grab things from books, learn podcasts, webinars, anything, we can learn all that, but it's all about the implementation of it. You know, if we're not prepared to put it in place, it's not going to make any difference.
That's right. And the wisest people know, Glenis, that are the ones that know that they don't know it all.
That's it. Did you see the owl? I have an owl sitting behind me. That's because I'm one of the wise ones, you know.
That's it.
You know, they say that when you reach 60, that you become wise. So I thought, oh, well, that was one of my birthday presents when I turned 60. So I thought, I'm going to use it.
Now, there's lots of great habits. There's lots of things that successful people do, but you've got it down to the big 4.
I do 4 headings. Underneath that, there's a few little subcategories. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to kick it off with you. Are you prepared to let us know what number 1 is?
Absolutely.
Now, these are not necessarily in any order, or are they in an order?
Yeah, they're in order of, I think, relevance, yeah. And I suppose for everyone on the call today, thank you for being on the call. We are here for the Referrals Over Breakfast Academy, and we're showcasing all the members around the Academy who, you know, are experts in their field. And if you want to ask questions today, please write them up in the Q&A. And Phil said he's going to take all the questions towards the end. So, you know, write them up. Don't be scared to ask me anything you like.
That's it, because I'll just organise my papers and I'll be busy taking notes, Glenis, as I usually do. So
I love it.
I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything. And
Okay.
I'm sure everyone at home will be too. So, or on their way home.
Yeah, good.
So
well,
let's
look,
hit them up with number one.
Number one is all about getting started. You know, sometimes, and most of the time, we have these great ideas and they never come to anything. It's like they just don't get started. And because one of the reasons is that we just procrastinate. You know, we think, oh, it's never gonna, that won't work. Or you tell your mates about it and they go, oh, really? You're joking, you know, like these are the sorts of things. But you are the expert in your field. You are the one that knows your industry. You know, sure, you've probably done some research, but most people just get stopped only to find that their idea is starting to come to fruition somewhere else. Someone else has had that idea, and that, you know, they start to, you know, it's getting taken away from them. So look, my first thing is that you got to get started, and it's the hardest thing when you've got a great big project in front of you or something you want to implement and it's quite big. You've got to break it down into bite-sized bits and get started. So it's like, do you like French sticks, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how they're big French sticks,
big,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I always imagine we cut all those up and we put some garlic butter in the middle and, you know, pop it in, that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to attack the stuff one bite at a time. So I always say, you know, cut it up into bite-sized bits and get started. So take the first bite. And it might be that part of the reason why you procrastinate is because you don't think you got enough time to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to get that done in the amount of time that I've got allocated for free time or free strategy time today. And what I suggest you do is break it into, even if you start at 30 minutes a day, because it takes 21 days to form a habit, 28 days to make it stick. Now, there are the certain facts out there, but, you know, you could be better than that. You might form a habit within 7 days. But I guarantee that if you put in place for 30 minutes every day for 21 days, what do we got there? You know, 11 and a half hours. You got nearly a whole day that you've actually worked on this project, and you will be further down the track, you know.
And the time's going to go anyway, isn't it, Glenis? So the half an hour is going to happen whether you do something or you don't do something. So you might as well do something.
Exactly, absolutely. And, you know, I have a story about that where I, back in 93, which is quite a lot of years ago, I was given this disc called MYOB. It was just one of those little square discs. And somebody said to me, "Go and have a look at this." And I thought, the idea was, oh my God, I could convert all of these businesses out there from paper records to electronic records. How cool would that be? And I thought, well, I better learn it myself. So I had a computer at home and I put MYOB on it. And then what I did was every time I spent some money, I entered the docket in. You know, by the end of 12 months, I knew how to use MYOB. I knew how to reconcile the accounts. I knew how to do the stock inventory. I knew everything. I knew that I spent $13,000 a year on groceries. That was pretty amazing, right?
It probably hasn't gone down any, I wouldn't imagine.
No, probably not. But, you know, halfway during that year, I put a little ad in the paper and, you know, convert your paper into computer files for business owners. And that's how I got started. And, you know, I got a few calls. I went out to see them. I started doing that work, but also I was showing people how to do it. So I was more training them. Sometimes I do it myself and sometimes I train them. But if I never started with that 30 minutes, you know, when I got home after, you know, working, getting the kids into bed, and then it was like, okay, I've got to put in the dockets into my MYOB system. So it was 30 minutes every day, and that's how I learned MYOB. And the success story out of that was I became the first MYOB certified consultant and a CPA in Queensland in 1997.
Yep.
And I ended up, the CPA Society actually asked me to train their accountants on how to use MYOB for their clients. So I was training CPAs in 97 in MYOB.
Very good.
So that's how,
because you got started and did a bit each day.
Did a bit each day. That's number one. So, have you got something you want to get started in, Phil?
I want to learn how to play the guitar, Glenis. I'm sure I've got an inner rock star in me, I reckon. Maybe I need to get started on that. But business-wise, plenty.
I often say to myself, I'm going to pick up the saxophone because I'm a flute player. And I thought, I might pick up the saxophone, but I'm trying to find something that's not going to make too much noise,
So we've got to make sure, as Brian Tracy would say, we don't get shipwrecked on Someday Isle. We've got to get on our boat. The someday I'll do this and the someday I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I suppose, so you said procrastination, and part of that is a bit of perfectionism. Glenis, is that?
Yeah, never let perfect get in the way of better. I have that favourite saying.
Sorry, what was that?
Never let perfect get in the way of better.
Yep, very good.
Yeah. Because if you do that, you'll never get started. You just want to be perfect all the time, and nobody's ever perfect. We can't be perfect.
Exactly. Sloppy success is better than perfect mediocrity, as they say.
I love it. That's another great saying. It's awesome.
So, is there anything else we need to explore about getting started?
Not really. I think to me, it's just get started. The other thing too is, and it comes up towards the end of number 4, is all around, eliminating distractions. How do you do that? Getting started is all about doing that thing that you really want, something that's different. Do it first thing in the morning. I find you've had a sleep, it's like you're fresh, get into it straight away. No interruptions, 30 minutes. Even if it's reading a book around, I know I'm reading a book around mastering LinkedIn at the moment. And that's another thing I'm putting in my day, 20 minutes for that.
I was going to say, don't do that at the end of the day. It might nod off, Glenis. Sounds like a bit of a dry read.
It is. It's a real dry read, but it's got to be done. So I've got to find a place to do it. Yeah.
Very good. So the secret to getting ahead is to get started. So
that's it.
Number two. Where are we at with number 2?
Number 2 is all about clarity of vision and versus certainty of outcome. So you've really got to have a clarity of vision where you want to get to. And, a lot of people don't do that. They just go along and their own little merry way. They don't know where they're actually going to. So it's always about, you have to have a clarity of vision of where you want to get to. And I always say go 12 months out for small businesses, because things change, and they change so quickly these days. Once upon a time, there used to be so many people used to do business plans that were 5 years out, right? And they'd give you a great big document, and you would never read it. It would just get in the filing drawer, okay? So to me, it's let's do a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, quick, what can we achieve and what's the clarity of vision? But then take it out 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, What do you want? And a lot of people, when I talk about clarity of vision, I'm talking about, yes, you've got a goal in there somewhere, but you've also got the journey along the way. What's going to happen along the way? How's that going to feel? What sort of impact is that going to be on your bottom line? Are you going to have additional money in the bank? you know, and what are you going to do with that? So there's a bit of a journey and a process that you want to think about with that, because having clarity of vision versus certainty of outcome. So certainty of outcome is when people are just really fixed on goals. And, you know, having a clarity of vision is much stronger mindset than certainty to outcome, because not everyone's motivated by money. You know, it's not even that. So I always say, you know, you got to adopt a vision. So I have like 4 steps in this process. I'm going to go through that. Yeah.
So just before you go on, the vision makes it a bit easier to be aspirational than the goals, because the goals are, you get a bit stuck in what you think you can achieve.
And then if it's filled with uncertainties, you know, the certainty of outcome is filled with uncertainties because you really can't control certain things in there. You know, you can't control what people are going to say to you. You might have a goal to have 10 sales over the line for the month, but you can't control what people are going to say to you. So it's better to have like the vision rather than, sure, you got to have a goal, but I'm not saying get really stuck on that goal, you know? You don't have, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do. And that's because we always overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can get done in 12 months, doesn't it? So
that's right.
Vision, what I'm hearing from you is the vision helps us maybe go for what we think in the 12 months time, rather than being a bit too short on it.
Yeah, don't get fixated on the actual goal itself. Really take yourself out to the vision, because if you're just fixated on goals, kicking off the goals, you can't control what other people are going to do, but have that vision there. Yeah, you know?
Okay, so what's our 4 steps?
Right, the 4 steps is, firstly, you've got to adopt a vision, all right? So you got to have that clear picture in your mind of the vision and the business owner that you want to be in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, all right? What's that business owner you want to be? So give me an example would be, you know, I'll be operating a business that's turning over this. We're making healthy profits. We probably have this much in the bank. I've got 2 team members. You know, we're operating to some KPIs, that sort of thing, you know? Yeah. That's number 1.
How specific do they need to be?
Enough that gets you the picture in your mind. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So then the next thing is you got to select some tasks or activities that you can change on a day-to-day basis. So currently you're not where you want to be because of what you're putting into every day. So you've got to select something that you're doing on a daily basis that is not helping you achieve your vision. Now that could be being on social media for 3 hours. I know people get lost on social media, right?
Yes.
You know, you could limit yourself to, okay, I'm only going to do this for half an hour in the morning, half an hour at night, you know?
Yep.
So you've got to select some tasks or activities you can change on a daily basis.
So some to do and some to not do.
Yes, absolutely. You know, because how you spend your time, we've only got so much time. So how you spend your time during the day is what's going to achieve your clarity of vision.
Yep.
Yep. And then once you've selected that, I want you to create a plan. Create the plan that you can execute every day. That's not, you know, it's not difficult. I always say keep it simple, really simple. And that plan is going to bring in your clarity of vision. It's going to, the tasks that you're putting into your day brings your clarity of vision. Yeah?
Yep. So you could I like the reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, okay, I need to do this, I know you work it that way as well. So, okay, I need to get 100. That means I've got to do so many a day. That means, you know, well, so many a week. That means I've got to do so many a day. And what am I going to do from there? Is that?
That's it. You know, you might say to yourself, well, to become that leader, of a business like that, well, I'm going to have to learn about this. So that could be a 30-minute a day thing that you're going to actually put in place. It might be that you've got to maintain your health and fitness. So every day, you know, no matter what, 12 o'clock, you're out for a run, you know, or out for a walk or something like that. Like, I'm not suggesting you're going to work and things, but I'm saying that holistically, you've got to look at what tasks have you got to put into your day. It's like you want to be healthy inside. Well, what food have you got to eat to be that and eat that?
I've got to do 30 minutes a day to master MYOB.
That's it.
As you were talking about before.
Yeah.
So
and
that
then
was something that you weren't doing, and you put that into your plan and made it part of because that part of your plan was part of your vision.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then the fourth thing is you got to monitor yourself. It's a bit like losing weight. Nobody really wants to jump on the scales or at the end of the week or whatever, you know. But you've got to keep monitoring on a daily basis and what you're putting in place. So, you know, I'm a business coach and strategist. So, you know, part of what I do with my clients is I help them become accountable to their own dreams. So we get clear on their clarity of vision. We look at, well, what are you doing on a daily basis that you don't need to, that's not taking you towards that clarity, and what can we change that to? Let's create a plan, and then let's create a weekly plan, because it's not also on a daily basis. Sometimes it's weekly. And then what we're going to do is keep checking in on a regular basis. So we're monitoring. We've got some KPIs we want to monitor at the end of the week. And we've got to keep checking in just to see that we're still got that clarity of vision, and we're not getting hung up with the certainty of outcome. Because at the end of the week, if we haven't achieved what we set out to achieve, we can always just take that on board and go, okay, well, what didn't I put in place in those 5 days? And what can I improve on for the next week? And if you don't look at that, then most people don't improve because you're not actually taking something on yourself. Yeah?
Yeah, that's good. And you don't want to throw away a dream because you had a bad week.
That's it, you know. Oh, I've had a bad week. No, well, you might have had a bad week if you were losing weight because, yeah, I remember I ate that cherry ripe on the way home, you know, and then you go, that's why I didn't lose the weight, because I ate the cherry ripe. Okay, well, next week I'm not going to eat the cherry ripe, but there's no need to, you know, make yourself bad and wrong about it, because it's the regular monitoring over a long period of time that actually gets you the success. And I think you will agree with me, there's never ever a big bang theory in a business. What actually has businesses become successful is small incremental changes over 5 key areas of a business gives you exponential results. So it's all about getting started, having that clarity of mind, you know, getting the tasks in your day and your week that are going to help you achieve the vision, regularly monitoring it, and making sure you're moving towards it.
Now, if I take all those points that you've just given me, which are sensational, and I go to the RoB Academy, I know that I reckon lessons 2, 3, 4, and 5 are going to get me in that vision space, help me with a few goals and a few bits and pieces around that, and get me set up for success in that area. So right at the start, so the RoB Academy, as you're talking about, starting at the start and getting a good foundation, that's where that starts as well.
That's it. You know, we can't, if we're really committed to a business, if we're, you know, and some people, I was talking to a lady today where money is not a motivator. She actually doesn't care if she makes profit, as long as, because she's got sufficient. What she's doing is she's keeping the brain active, and she just wants to cover her costs, right? And she loves to educate and empower people. So profit's not something for her. But when we look at it, she's still got to put different things in place to actually have her achieve what she wants to achieve. We all have something we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And we just got to get clear on what that is and be willing to shift whatever we're putting into our day to, but maybe we have to take something out. I'm not suggesting you work 20 hours a day, but I'm suggesting that there could be things in your day that are just not moving you forward towards what you really want. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, number three.
And I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. I can see, a lot of regulars that are joining us. So that's really great. I hope you're getting something out of this. And don't forget to put your questions in the Q&A for Phil and me for later. So number 3 is all about strong commitment to implement. So I don't know about you, but, we can have these great ideas. We can put plans down on paper. We can, complete our diary. We can block our time out. But if we're not actually going to implement it, then it's a waste of time, right? So you have to have this sense of urgency. And that comes from within. It comes from your mindset. It's like, it's not good enough that you say to yourself at the end of the day, oh, that's all right, I'll do that tomorrow. No. If you gave your word to something that you were going to do something today, you should do it. Yeah. And not only would that make you feel like, oh my God, I feel great because I've kept my word to myself, but you actually have achieved something. So you can leave work and go home and go, I've actually achieved that, I personally have a top 3 that I like to achieve every day. And I do all that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the 4th step. But, I do as much as I can to achieve my top 3 things every day in the morning. Get it out the way first. But
and those 3 things come out of your plan?
Yeah.
That we spoke about before? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do it actually the night before. I plan my day, how the day's going to look the night before, and then I can leave it. I can sleep. I have no problem sleeping. I don't get stressed about things. I don't wake up about worrying about things. I get up in the morning and I know exactly what I got to do. It's great. I feel like I'm a robot sometimes, but I'm not. But if you have to think about what you got to do for the day when you wake up in the morning, sometimes it takes 10, 15 minutes, and that's a waste of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to take action today, not tomorrow. It's a little bit like money. Money's better in your hands today, not tomorrow. All right? And what tends to stop us is that little voice in our head. We all have it, and it's the little voice that gives you the excuses. It's the one that lets you off the hook. All right?
Yes.
A little story about that. I took on my first coach in 2007, and it's a very high-profile coach, and he was for accountants only. And I had to get a whole lot of information ready for him and I to do a call, a webinar, and on the Tuesday, and we were shifting office on the Friday. And I thought, oh, I'll get all that done on Sunday. I'll come in and I'll get everything ready. It was numbers and bits and pieces, and I'll be all ready for him. But what happened is that we shifted office on Friday, and we had done quite a lot of work. So we all went out on Friday night, and I had oysters, and I got food poisoning. And so I was very sick all day Saturday, and I dragged myself out of bed at 12 o'clock on Sunday because I said I had to. And I did, and I went into work and I got most of it done by 8 o'clock that night and went back home. Didn't rock up on Monday, but was feeling a little bit better. But Tuesday I came into work and I had that call with him. And from doing all of that and that call, he then agreed to be my coach. And but then when he delved in deeper into all the information that I prepared for him, he saw that a lot of my systems and processes were far superior than most other accountants. So within a week, I was on an Ask the Expert type webinar around Australia and New Zealand with all of my systems and processes in place. So I've always found in my life, Phil, I don't know about you, but I've always found in my life that when I'm doing something that I've had to push myself to do, and it's, you know, I could have quite easily put that appointment off and said, look, I'm not going to have things ready for you on that Tuesday, and I would not have had him as a coach, right?
Yeah.
But I just pushed myself that inch back and I said, no, I said I was going to do it. I'm not listening to the little voice in my head. I'm going to do it. And I did it, and it paid off. You know, I just find that that happens all the time. So we as humans tend to live in a world of survival, and we have human tendencies to keep our survival mechanisms in place. And sometimes we have to go outside. And I'm not saying do things that are going to kill yourself, but I'm just saying sometimes we've got to step outside our own self and start doing some things that are a little bit, give us a push.
Yeah. Yeah.
They give us a push, because I can honestly say that it will always benefit, you'll benefit. And the leaders and the most successful business owners that I know are people like that.
And that's you living your thing that I've heard you say about opportunity and preparation colliding to give you the luck. So that was your preparation that gave you that that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no such word as hope. Well, there is, but I don't believe in it. You know, hope doesn't exist. It's, you know, what happens is that you get prepared, and then opportunity comes along, and you have that, you know, you get success through that. Yeah.
So money loves speed, and the only way we're going to get that speed is to take massive action to get the momentum.
And not get stopped. Absolutely. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So number 4.
Eliminating distractions.
Yeah. There's plenty of them around these days.
Oh, yeah. You know,
and if there's not, we'll find them.
That's it. We will, won't we? We tend to go gravitate to things that waste our time. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
So I always say to people, I start off with people and say, you know, where can you claim back 60 minutes in your day? Because 60 minutes in your day is 5 hours a week. What could you do with 5 hours a week? You could put a new strategy in place to generate leads for your business. And that, you know. So this is all about procrastination. We tend to sort of put off some things that are outside of our comfort zone. But if you use that 30 minutes, you know, to start learning about it, it won't be outside your comfort zone, you know. So I have a list of things that, you know, it's about 8 things here that I've got a list of that, you know, where you could start looking at, you know, how you can eliminate distractions. Do you want to hear them?
That'd be great, because this really also feeds back in and loops around to number 1, getting started, doesn't it?
It is. It's all around Robin thing. I tell you what, we're going to have super successful businesses if everyone starts taking this on board.
That's all right. So we've got a couple of questions coming in, which is great. So keep them coming in. We'll get to the questions. We'll just get all those points in first, and we'll go from there.
All right. Number 1, surround yourself with people that are already eliminating distractions successfully, because they're not going to waste your time.
Yeah.
Simple, eh? It's really simple.
So where's the best place to find those, Glenis?
Well, you could hang around with me.
Very good.
And I have a team of 12 other coaches that don't do that either, so you could hang around with them as well.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah. Number 2, be present to the benefits that achieving your big goal is going to give you, you know. So have something that's really valuable, that it's worth eliminating distractions for, you know. And it could be, it's probably time, money, or recognition related, you know. But I know one guy that I was coaching at one stage, you know, he wanted to take his wife overseas because he'd never taken her for a honeymoon, and they'd been married 25 years, you know, and he wanted to go to Europe. So it was like, he just wanted to have an overseas holiday, 4 weeks, $20,000 additional profit, and he got it. you know. So have something that's really worthwhile eliminating distractions for. Yeah.
So that also comes into what you said before, which I thought was really good in there. Your vision was being accountable to your own dreams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Plan your time in blocks that you want to work to. Personally, myself, I like 50 minutes or an hour, 45-minute blocks. So, you know, the reason why I do 50 minutes is because my concentration span lapses round about that. And I need to sort of either get up, walk around, take my eyes off the screen, do something, you know. And if I know that I've got 10 minutes at the end of the hour to do something small, then it's all good, you know, I'm in and I'm doing stuff for 50 minutes, you know.
Yep.
And then the hour 45 blocks work for me when I've got something quite big and I get quite in depth with it. So, you know, I turn off phones, turn off everything, get in, get it done. I just don't allow distractions when I'm in that space. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, yep. So what are we up to? Number 4?
Number 4, always allow time in your day to clear your clutter. Do small tasks, you know, things that take 1 or 2 minutes. Like, you know, I have a desktop that's got filing on it, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, if I spend 5 minutes just putting everything in the files that need to be in, it's in, it's done, it's organized, you know, ready for me to go searching in my drive if I need it. So, you know, always allow maybe 15 minutes or half an hour, what do you want at the end of the day to clear the clutter and get yourself, I always find having a really nice clear desk, clear everything around me to work from the next morning just helps me move it forward, right?
Yes.
Last thing I hate is
RoB Academy, number 5, optimizing your office for success.
That's it. It's all there, isn't it?
See?
The next thing is plan the next day at the end of your day. So get clear in your mind, what are your top 3 things you want to accomplish that next day? And just plan out your day. So for me, I look at my diary and I go, right, I've got an appointment at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So I've got a block of time before 10. I could do something big then. Have my lunch. Yeah, okay, I can go and have a walk. And then in the afternoon, I've got an hour and a half. Maybe I could do something there, you know? Yeah. So always have a think about how you can achieve your 2, 3 top things and maybe put in you're getting started as well as to clear the clutter.
Big rocks, as they say.
The big rocks.
So number 6.
Number 6, attend to the worst possible thing first. Have you ever heard of eat the frog first?
Yes.
You know, that one thing you're putting off. This morning for me, it was about talking to someone about paying their bill.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing more degrading for having to talk to someone about, well, hang on a minute, your bill, you know, your account dishonored or whatever, you know. If someone comes to me first and tells me that, I'm more than happy to sort of have conversations. But when you find out, so that was the worst possible thing I had to talk, you know. I don't have really bad things in my business. I have mostly good things.
Yes, but as Brian Tracy says, the frog's not going to get any tastier or get any prettier at the end of the day than it did. All you do all day is worry about eating the frog.
That's it. And if you do it up front, you feel like a sense of achievement. You know, you feel like, yeah, puff your feathers out. Yeah.
You've taken action.
That's it. You've taken action. Next one is say no more regularly. Everybody can say no because I can say no. No. Can you say no, Phil?
No.
Exactly. And we can say it with a smile on our face, right? So you got to say no, you know, more regularly. If the way I look at this is if it's not moving you forward to achieve your clarity of vision, then you might have to limit what you're doing and you might have to say no.
It is a very powerful word.
It is, but say it with a smile on your face.
People pleasers. We like to say yes, but saying no.
We're all people pleasers.
That's right. We want to please ourselves a bit more often than pleasing others, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, you got to say no with a smile on your face too. Be gracious about it.
Yep.
And then the last thing is, you know, ensure you spend time every day to wind down your mind, your body, to rest, you know, whatever you do, meditate, 8 hours sleep, eat healthy, you know, fuel your mind and body with the good stuff, because then you can work at premium top performance the next day, you know. So and it's one of the things that I've really had to work hard on, because I tend to just get in and work, and I love it, and I love getting into it and developing strategy, you know. But if you're not on your game every day for 5 days a week, you're no good to anyone. So for me, you know, you've always got to put that time in to do what you need to do for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do a bit of that, when you do get yourself off track, it's easier to tap into where you're at and get yourself back on track. Would that be right?
Absolutely. You know, and you talk to, well, you listen to all the, you know, the Brian Tracy's, the Tony Robbins, all of those people all on YouTube, and that they all spend an hour, 2 hours. Tony Robbins, you know, was Hour of Power. Everyone's got something, you know, where it's all about them. They've got to fuel up. So, you know, to be successful, you actually have to do that.
Well, thanks, Glenis. We've got a few questions in there, and we have 3 or so questions to get through.
Okay.
I've got my heaps of notes here. I can tell Chris is going to have to get this recording out pretty quick, because there's a fair bit of stuff, and probably have to go over this a few times. This thing has been sensational. So, just getting back, Aaron. Thanks for your question, Aaron. It's do you have any tricks or techniques to remain accountable to yourself?
Wow, you know, it's so easy not to be accountable. It's a good question, Aaron. Thanks for that. I really don't. Like, I suggest you get a coach. If you can't afford a coach, you really need to be looking at why you're in business. And I'm sorry, that might sound really hard, Yakka, but, you know, you're in business to make money. There are some coaches, you know, and that can keep you accountable for, you know, less than $500 a month, you know. And if you work that out, it's probably 2 cups of coffee a day for the month. It's close to $400. So, you know, I just think that if you can't afford somebody to, you know, a coach to actually keep you accountable to your own dream, then find yourself a buddy who has the same thing, you know, going on. But really start looking at, you know, how can you increase your income? Sometimes coaches work with you to increase strategies to increase your income, and only take a percentage of any additional sales that they help you make. So do some inquiries, talk to Phil, talk to myself, Aaron.
So it's the results that you're going to get because you've spent the time and the money and the effort to actually have someone help you along.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which you basically answered Selena's question. Thanks, Selena. I think that's answered your question, which was, do we need a coach to keep or a mentor to keep on top of our goals? So that's good there. And Joan has just got one going back to procrastination. And when we realise we're procrastinating, how do we best get over it, or how do we best get out of it, I suppose, is the...
Yeah, good point. Talk to someone. The first thing you've got to do is acknowledge it. So talk to someone, if you have a coach or a business buddy, and say, I've been procrastinating. This is what I really want to do and I'm not doing it. And somebody good would listen to what you're saying, and they wouldn't comment on anything. They wouldn't give you any advice. What they would do is say, so, okay, I get that. You're procrastinating. What are you going to do about that?
Well,
and then, it's about acknowledgement, being aware of it, and then putting something in place. So sometimes you just need a good ear. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Glenis. That has been massive. Surprisingly, the time has gone. It's 6 o'clock.
I've got 3 questions in here from Elizabeth. Do you think we could answer them quickly in there?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sure everyone won't mind going over a little bit, because it'll be a few more nuggets of gold.
We might just need 2 more minutes, Phil. So
that's fine.
thank you. This is from Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Can you please explain what is involved in engaging a business coach? If a business owner decides to work with a coach, what is the investment in terms of time and money? Look, you know, all coaches work a little bit differently. Myself and Phil, what we do is we work on, you know, what you want to achieve in the next 12 months. I actually have strategy programs that are 90 days, and I have maintenance programs that are like 12 months, you know. So what's involved depends on what you want to achieve and by when. In terms of, you know, how do you, if a business owner decides to work with a coach, in terms of time and money, you should be working with a coach weekly if you want maximum results. And as far as time, money goes, well, each coach to their own, but, you know, really great coaches would be taking, you know, I don't know, if you're in a group situation, you're probably be somewhere between $750 to $1,000 a month. If you are one-on-one type coaching, it'd be minimum would be $1,000 a month, I would suggest, for anyone really good. Okay.
Like us, Glenis, someone who actually costs nothing because we're results focused, and the money actually comes out of funds that you wouldn't have had if you didn't have a coach. So that's right. It's more of an investment. It's an investment, not an expense. The other thing too is your business increases in value, and typically valuations are ×3. So quite often you've got to start looking at the bigger picture rather than the small individual cash flows. Yeah. What's the best way to deal with burnout as a small business owner? Get some rest. So, look, no, I get it. I've been burnt out before as well, Elizabeth. What you've got to do is you've got to start planning your day to have time for yourself. Do not work weekends. Do not work after 5:30. Make sure you get some time in the middle of the day and start fueling yourself up with really good things and to take your mind off your business, because your business will work without you, and you'll be surprised at how fast you can do things once you're fueled up. I hope that answers your question. Well, I think you've done extremely well there, and thanks, Elizabeth. Sorry to pass over your questions there in my haste. That's all right. But as I say, that has been a sensational session, Glenis. The 4 things, if we could just back over them once again. Number 1. Do you want to say number 1, get started? Yeah. Number 2, have your clarity of vision, not certainty of outcome. That'll come with your clarity of vision. Yeah. Number 3, sense of urgency. Number 4, eliminate distractions. Excellent. Next week. Next week's you, Phil. That's it. The Phil and Glenis show rolls on. Well, yeah, we're highlighting each other. So, Phil, what are you going to tell us next week? We're going to talk about the difference between tactical and strategic marketing. I love it. How that works. So that sounds really good. Now, you've got some tips about that as well? Yes, we want to look more on the strategic side, and it's all about what you say and how you say it, more about and where you say it, rather than actually what medium you use or what tools you use. So we'll go through a few of those tips. That's excellent. Now, I just want to let everyone know who's on the call tonight that, you know, if you are stuck in your business, you're not achieving what you want to achieve, then, you know, I do have 45-minute business audits available. If you do want something like that, just contact me direct on glenis@morecustomersmoreprofits.com, or you could give me a call on 1300-784-958. And just book in, you know, 45 minutes to an hour with me, and we'll take you through a bit of a business order and work out, you know,
what you need to do to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. And I also have my 2020 group opened up. So if anybody does want to get into the group coaching next year, it will start from January, not February. So we're starting the year right up front. You know, I've got some applications for that coming in. So if you want to have an application for that, please let me know as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for being on the call, and thanks for Rob for having referrals over breakfast so that we can start showcasing everyone here as well.
Excellent.
Have a super successful week, everyone, and please do one thing that I've talked about today and start noticing how successful your business will become.
Get started.
Get started. Okay.